Fate, our Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood podcast. I'm Megan.
And I'm Meg.
And today we're covering episode 32, The Fuhrer's Son.
In this episode, a secret encounter allows Mustang to spark new ambition in an old friend, an ally with loyal troops at his command. Meanwhile, Ed and Al share a chance meeting with their biggest fan, young Salim Bradley.
And this covers manga chapters 63, The Promise Made for 520 Cents, and 64, The Northern Wall of Briggs.
Let's jump right in. So, just like in the last episode, Ed and Al are still searching for Xiao Mei, and this elderly woman is showing them her very strange looking cat, who is obviously not Xiao Mei, but kind of looks like a panda.
It's
not
an
really.
ugly cat.
Yeah, it is. Very weird looking cat. And Ed, he doesn't say this to her, but she's like, I don't want to be humoring some old lady. Which I was like, that's a little rude, Ed, but okay.
A little rude, but he's in a rush and he doesn't care to be polite.
Yes. And they're like, where is Xiao Mei? And then we see Mei. She has been shopping and she goes to the train station, and while she's there, she bumps into an old lady and drops all her groceries, and the old lady helps her pick it up, and then she runs off with a man in a trench coat.
Yeah, just really interesting. In the manga, the old lady notes that Mei has an accent, so she picks up that Mei's from Xing, and yeah, I can understand why they didn't try to give any of the characters accents in the anime. That would have been tough to pull off, but I always think that's cool. Like, that would have been really cool if she did have an accent.
Yeah, and in the anime, they note that she's dressed in
she
kind of
does
interesting.
Have,
that's how the elderly woman is like, oh, you're not from around here,
right? Because
by what she was wearing.
Yeah, the people from Xing have very obviously Eastern-inspired clothing, so I would describe some of it as being loose, like loose pants and like different types of shoes that they wear. And, Maestrians are more European-based, so they've got like suits or dresses or, those kinds of clothes. So that is a very obvious difference.
Yeah. Yeah. Then we see Scar in the sewers, and he is with another man in a trench coat who is also hiding their face. The soldiers are following Scar, trying to catch him, and he destroys the sewers and then runs off. I
feel like the MPs had enough time to shoot him while he was trying to transmute.
Yeah,
and
that's like they always just like stand there and are like, "Hey, stop!" And then,
whoa, what's he doing to the ceiling? Let's watch it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And we see Kimblee is the one who is searching for Marco, and who they believe is with Scar, and the MPs report that Scar has been seen with a middle-aged man with black hair, which fits Marco's description, and they are heading west. Kimblee is, I don't know, he's heading somewhere, and he passes by the same old woman that Mei ran into, and he clocks her and is like, well, she's suspicious, but not his problem.
I like that. He has his priorities.
Yeah,
Kimblee has his MO, and he just goes with that, and he doesn't care about the repercussions or what's going to happen to other people because he's solely focused on what he wants to do. On the one hand, that could be a very good trait to have because it means you have drive and ambition. On the other hand, it means like you just pass by the things you should probably bring up, but you don't.
Then we see Roy at Hugh's grave, and the old woman again. We see her again. She's at the grave, they're making small talk with each other, and then we see that it is General Grumman is disguised as an old woman, and Roy is all I wrote is Roy is dead. He just
I love that moment. all his facades just drop, like his military presence, his like in control of his emotions and his the decorum he usually possesses. He can't help it. He just busts out laughing and it's great.
Yeah, I love it. And Roy's like, well, I knew you were known for being eccentric. And Graham's like, oh, really? I take that as a compliment, which I would too.
That's how they describe Pixis in Attack on Titan, I think. Eccentric.
Yeah, honestly, they kind of have the same vibe a little bit.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then briefly it cuts to a scene Ed and Al are visiting the library they want trying to learn more about alchemy because they can't find May. And then we go back to Grumman and Roy at the grave, and they're talking about the central senior staff and how they're all bad. Even Raven, and Grumman recalls a conversation that he had with Raven, who asked him about if he was interested in a corps of immortal soldiers. That was a shock to Roy. And Grumman's like told him that he wasn't interested and that's impossible. And then because of that answer, he was demoted and sent to the east.
You know what? You think Grumman would have warned Roy about Raven? But at the same time, it might have been one of those conversations where it's just like, oh, was he proposing a theory or something like that? Or just joking around? And
well,
I don't know, but there are red flags that would go up.
Yeah. Did it happen in the anime or the manga where I thought Grumman told Roy to seek out Raven?
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
What did that
Thought
happen
Raven
in the
was
anime?
somebody trustworthy. I think he said something like Grumman, like when Roy was talking to Raven, he said something like, General Grumman just trusts you, or like highly, he talks of you very highly, or something like that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I thought that happened. And then I kind of like this. We get an update about what happens in Lior. Apparently after it's very sad. After Ed and Al took down the priest, the East forces came in and
kept it peaceful after the upheaval.
kept the peace. But then the Central forces came in and they made it worse and caused rioting. And it's clear that Central is in danger. Sorry, what? That's not what I meant to say.
It's like
Central is trouble.
Yeah.
Which honestly, that also reminds me of Attack on Titan. Sorry, we are
we're in the middle of some things in Attack on Titan.
Yes, we are. That's very much where like the people in charge are bad. Anyway, Roy asks Grumman to join him. And Grumman wants to get involved. He's like, I wanna take down the
bust some heads.
Yeah.
He gets like real hyped, like, I thought I was gonna retire, but no, I'm ready to go all in again.
Yes. Yeah. Then we go to the library where Ed and Al are researching alchemy and they can't find anything.
Yes, and I have a big manga note. We were robbed. In the anime, what is Ed wearing? His normal stuff? Or like
I think so.
Yeah. But in the manga, Ed has this awesome outfit. It's like a 3/4 zip black sweater, and he looks like any like regular teen from even modern day. And I mean, Meg and I love the outfit changes in stories, like any story. If characters have multiple outfits, it makes it seem more real, and it's cool to see characters wear different things. But also Ed's outfits tend to look more modern, Winry's too for that matter, while other characters are wearing things that look like they're out of the mid-1900s, because of course the story's set in like the early to mid-1900s. So I don't know. I just like seeing Ed's drip, you know?
Yes, me too. When I get to that part in the manga, I'm sure I will appreciate it. Um, but I'm very far behind. So anyway, Ed trying to read, and this is when Armstrong arrives, and it is hilarious. He like towers over the bookshelves and like looks down at Ed,
How tall
and
is this man?
yeah, seriously. And then he like physically like moves the shelves, like pushes them aside, steps through, and like puts them back. It's very impressive. But also I will be sharing this. There is like a really funny like a Attack on Titan meme like reference like when Armstrong is like looking over the shells. It's like the colossal Titan
Yes.
looking over the wall.
Okay, I found Armstrong's height. It says 212 centimeters in the wiki. That is 6'9".
Yeah, that's so oh my gosh. Watching Haikyuu has helped me
Yes.
learn about heights because I always say it in what is it?
Centimeters, yeah.
Yeah. So get a good sense for oh, this many centimeters is this tall. Anyway.
I'm Noya's height, by the way. Actually, he might be an inch taller than me. You're Hinata's height.
I thought it was 5'4".
Are you 5'5"?
Yes.
Okay, then you are the libero, from Nekoma.
Okay,
Yaku.
I'll take that.
Awesome.
Trying to take an inch off my height?
Sorry.
Come on. Have a short rant. Just kidding. Okay, so Armstrong, he tells Ed that May is heading north, which, by the way, I forgot to mention this. Grumman tells Mustang that because he saw him at
oh yeah, Mustang was carrying around
Mustang
Ed's
had
poster of
yes.
Xiaomei,
Yeah.
so and Grumman's like, oh, I saw that cat.
Yes, yeah. So that's how they figure that out. So now Ed knows they need to go north. And Armstrong also gives Ed a letter of introduction, which, by the way, the seal is like so adorable. It's like his
little hairdo and
his little hair and his mustache.
He's defined by those features.
Yes, yes. And the letter of introduction is for the Northern Wall of Briggs, Major General Armstrong. And we just see this like very cool and intimidating soldier who is the best.
Yeah.
So get excited.
Get excited.
And then we go back to Scar. He and his travel companion in the trench coat have been trapped on a bridge by MPs. A train passes by underneath them, and like Scar gets obscured by smoke, and he disappears. And the MPs see that he has jumped on the train heading to West City.
Again, they had every opportunity to shoot him, but they hesitated.
But
they just watched him disappear into the distance.
Yeah. Although, okay, this one is a little more fair because they were facing him on two different sides. So, like,
true. And I suppose they were ordered not to shoot him because they were afraid of hitting Marco if Marco was the guy with him. Okay, yeah. I'll give them some credit. They were following orders. Sorry, MPs.
This one they can get a pass because they don't want to hit one of their buddies with a stray bullet. Anyway.
Sorry. I was thinking of, I can't remember what movie or show or what is it that it's from. It's like people are all in a circle about to shoot somebody in the middle, and at the last second the person ducks and they all shoot each other.
Yeah.
I can't remember what that was from.
Dude, I don't that doesn't sound familiar to me, but that sounds hilarious.
Oh, I know what it was. Okay, so my family, we're kind of dorky, but there's this radio show that we listen to called Adventures in Odyssey, and it was it was really cute. It was like a play within a play, and they were doing like a western, and the main guy, Buck, who's like he came back to like his love after a harrowing ordeal. She's like, "How did you ever make it out alive?" And he's like, "Well, I'll tell you what. They rounded me up and they were about to shoot, but they rounded me and they were in a circle. So when they said fire, all I had to do was duck."
That's awesome.
Uh,
Anyways, let's head back to the library. The best place to be.
yes.
Al he's also doing his own research. And he's thinking about May and her alchemy, and he's very impressed by her. Which is so cute. And while Al is reading this, we see this boy, he stops behind him and he gets so excited and he's like, "Are you his Full Metal brother?" And he's like, "Yeah, I am." And he asks what he's doing, and Al tells him that he's looking into alchemy, and he's like, "Why are you doing that?" And Al, he's like, "Well, I can't." In his head, he's like, "I can't tell him that we're trying to get our bodies back." So he tells him that it's for medical uses.
Yes, which is also true. But I like well, he says that in the manga too, but before that, he's like, "World peace."
The classic answer.
Yes.
Then Ed comes running. He wants to leave. He's like, "We gotta go to the north." And then the boy like totally starts freaking out, and he's like, "It's the tiny alchemist!" And Ed, of course, is furious. And he's like, "Oh, I know they all say that you hate being called short."
Yeah. And so we'll get to his short rant later because it's a great one. But in the manga, it is, what? Let's hear you say that one more time. You want to go flying? I'll send you on a one-way trip to Neptune.
Yes.
The reason, the way he specified which planet made it that much more funny.
Ed gets angry, and while he looks like he's about to throw hands, then these two intimidating looking men show up that are like, hey, stop. And we find out that the boy is Salim Bradley, which we already know, but Ed and Al did not know that.
They'd never met him.
The Fuhrer's son. And then we go to the Bradley home. Ed and Al are visiting with Salim and Mrs. Bradley, and it's so cute. Salim is like in awe of Ed.
It's really sweet. Having a younger kid look up to you is always kind of a weird mixture of pride and terror. But in the manga, Ed has a little more fun with it. He's just sitting there going, "Wow, I've got a fan. This is great."
That's awesome. Yeah, he's kind of like he doesn't know what to think. And then Ed asks about the Fuhrer, and he's thinking, well, the Fuhrer is a homunculi, so what does Salim think of him? And it's again very sweet. Salim thinks that his dad is totally amazing.
Yeah, and what's interesting when Ed asks about him in the manga, he specifically asks after the Fuhrer's health, like, how's he doing? He hasn't been sick, has he? And like, I don't know why he specified his health, but maybe he was trying to like indicate something like, isn't it weird that he's never injured or sick? Or that was my thought process anyway. Or maybe it's just common courtesy to ask after somebody's health when you're visiting another house. I don't know.
Yeah, that could be it too. And Ed does sometimes have manners.
Sometimes.
Mrs. Bradley, she tells the boys that she wants a Fuhrer to take it easy. He's working all the time. And then she seems very sweet and quiet, but then we see that she's got a little bit of a feisty side because she says she slapped a Fuhrer for the first time she met him. But then they had like an amazing first date. And which is it's funny, but at the same time, it's like that's a weird thing to share with
Well, and she does go,
boys.
"Oh, look at me rambling on about our romance."
Yeah.
You can tell she loves him so much.
And then the Fuhrer arrives, which Ed and Al are very surprised by. And Salim is so excited again. He's like, Dad, you're here, yay, whatever. Um,
Yeah, we're kind of bitter about this.
yeah, we are a little bit because we know the true Fuhrer.
Yeah. And I'm always so sad whenever he's on screen, especially when he's relating with his family or with Ed and Al, because his voice actor does a really good job of having like a fatherly tone. He just sounds like a nice person. So it's
Yeah,
really hard to know that he's a bad guy.
it's so interesting, like
Yeah.
to see like how someone can appear one way and like totally be something different. And it's kind of scary, honestly. Anyway, the Fuhrer tells Ed and Al that they couldn't have children, so they adopted Salim, which is like confirming what Ed and Al had already discovered. And like we already mentioned, the Fuhrer super kind, and Ed and Al are surprised by it. And the Fuhrer, it honestly is kind of mean, because he's like, I have a family waiting for me at home, and it's very different from yours. And then we see like their family of, Winry, Granny, and then even Al in his body. And honestly, I feel like it was kind of a threat, like, hey, I know about your family.
Yeah,
And
yeah. It was a dig and a threat at the same time.
Yeah.
Well played.
Yes. And then the Fuhrer leaves, and Salim is sad to see him go. And then we see Hawkeye was waiting outside. Just a reminder that she is his personal assistant now. And then Ed and Al also leave, and Salim and Mrs. Bradley like, come visit us again. And then we find out that Ed and Al are, well, we already knew this, but they're heading north. And the last scene in this episode, there's soldiers waiting at the train station in West City for Scar, but he's not there. And we see that he has jumped off the train. He jumped off the train while it was in transit. And Kimblee is looking at the map and like they either went north or south. We don't see Kimblee's decision if he thinks they're heading north or south. And that is the end of the episode.
Yeah. That was a pretty good one, but it was sort of like a transitioning period.
Yeah, another one. I think this is like the third one in a row.
Yeah. But none of these are filler. Nothing in Full Metal is filler except for the first episode.
Yes. And then also like the interlude party.
Well, interlude party, yeah. Yeah. I guess I forget about those two because it's not manga canon. Anyway. So, voice actor notes. We had 2. So, Mrs. Bradley, who is not even given a first name. Darn it. She's played by Dana Schultz, who is Mako from Fairy Tail. Additional voices in both Ouran High School Host Club and Black Butler, and Saruha from Rolling Girls. And then Salim Bradley is played by Brittany Karbowski, who is Hitch Dryce from Attack on Titan, Hitoka Yachi from Haikyuu, and Kimi Utsushimi from My Hero Academia. And okay, we love Yachi. She is like best girl, most relatable.
Yeah, she is the inner voice inside all of our heads.
Her external freakouts are our internal freakouts.
Yes.
And first impressions of characters and name meanings. We've already covered Bradley, so we got his last name in a previous episode. But Salim, his first name is, from what I could find on the internet, is from Arabic origins, and it means peaceful.
Yes, and we've already met Salim, but
this is his real introduction when Ed and Al meet him. So
yeah, and it's like, oh, he's such a sweet boy, very
wide-eyed and impressionable and genuine.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
So we didn't really have much to analyze in this episode except for story elements analysis, and that's just like the getting to know the enemy stuff, because they actually are invited into Bradley's home. They get to see the man behind the title and the second facade he has to keep up, because not only does he have to be a leader of a country, but he also has to be the head of a household.
Yeah. Very interesting. Well, we didn't have too many extra things. So Megan, what was your favorite line?
Mine was Ed's short rant when Salim called him the tiny alchemist. He said, "What was that? You brat! Say it again. Once more. I'll send you flying. Hear me? Your little body will go straight into space." I couldn't do it justice.
That was
try my best.
That was a good attempt.
Thank you. Was that pity?
No comment.
Okay, now the masses get to hear my botched line. Anyway, what was your favorite line, Mike?
Mine came from Roy when he was talking to Grumman, and trying to get him to join his little rebellion. He says, "You don't know how to sit by and watch. You can't do nothing."
Mm-hmm.
All right. What did we learn in this episode?
Be a good role model, because Ed has little eyes watching him.
Yes, he does. And then, who pushed the story forward in this episode?
General Grumman. He formed an alliance with Mustang, and he gave intel on where May was heading. So he was kind of the big player in this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Overall, like, not like a super exciting episode, but a lot of stuff happened. And again, it was like another episode where it's like setting up for what's coming next.
Yes.
Ed and Al are heading north. Scar and his gang are heading north, and Mustang is still on the move.
Yep. And this was the halfway point through the entire series.
Yes, that's crazy that we've made it this far.
Yes. I will make some fan art to celebrate to post on Instagram if you want.
Yes, you should.
Okay.
And thank you to everybody who has been listening to this so far.
Thank you so much. And if you want to send us fan art, we could post it on our Instagram and make like a I don't know, collage out of it or something. I don't know, just to get involved if you want to. You don't have to, but were trying to. You should. We were trying to think of something fun to do for the halfway point, and we got stumped.
Yeah, actually, we just forgot to.
There's a lot going on right now.
Yeah, we just forgot. Too many things happening in our lives.
Too many Attack on Titan episodes to watch.
We're already halfway through.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, we will be back next week with another episode.
Yep, thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.